Hello everyone and welcome to another Starfield video. My name is Brian if you happen to be new to the channel, but if you're a part of the 65,730, this feels unreal, guys. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe button and taking a chance on my content. I'm not here to waste your time because there is an interesting developing story happening over on Twitter. Where else would this stuff come from in the first place? And it all relates around PlayStation fans organizing to review bomb this game. Here's the thing. Let them. If this is true, if this person is real, who is tweeting this out and generating essentially any kind of level of attention getting stuff, because obviously that it's working. I'm talking about it. I'm talking to you. Let them. All Starfield has to be is a really good game. And then all it does is just makes them look petty at the end of the day. Now, I'm going to continue to advocate for that games should be everywhere. And I love Microsoft's playing anywhere mantra. And it's unfortunate that PlayStation fans are being left out. And it's unfortunate that Starfield will receive some level of pushback because of that. If roles were reversed and Microsoft didn't buy Bethesda and Sony locked down this game as a PlayStation exclusive, it would still be championed by these same people. And it's unfortunate, right? But there's no fixing that. I can't fix this kind of person, for whatever their motivation is. However, what's interesting is whether or not they're, I think they're just doing it for attention, and, good on them for whatever they want to do for however they want to get their attention, good or bad or positive. But one of the things I do want to bring up is one of their tweets. Like when you go to their profile, this is coming from Xbot Tiers 360. It says, "If you've come to my profile, you've already won." And I think that's an interesting tweet because it really kind of highlights what they're ultimately trying to do. They're trying to rage bait. They're trying to bring in this mindset of PlayStation versus Xbox. That already exists, but it obviously is going to only get more and more intense, especially with the Microsoft acquisition, especially with all of these different moves that Microsoft is making. And at the end of the day, from an entertainment perspective, I'm entertained, right? That's why I use Twitter. I'm entertained, but there is still a part of it, like Paris was talking about yesterday in my video from just yesterday, which you guys, speaking of which, absolutely crushed it. You over 200 likes. It's absolutely insane. Thank you guys so much for the support. You are amazing. 240 actually, just looking at it. 240 likes. Thank you guys. Let's just keep this challenges humble and simple here. If you guys enjoy this content, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And that's really, really great. What do I mean by this game just has to be a good game? Good games don't care about their reviews, and it really shows, right? Like you can see even people coming out and saying like, oh, this game's garbage and trash, but then when people kind of go hands-on with it, and that's really kind of the strength of Game Pass, as I punch my mic accidentally because I talk with my hands because I'm Italian, but that's the strength of good games. And Game Pass removes so many barriers for people to try the game. Obviously, what's going to be really interesting to see is the impact of early access versus the full release. I'm going to be playing early access. In fact, when this game officially is out, you're probably going to see a lot less content for me because we're all going to be playing games, right? Like that's where I think the irony of all of this stuff comes in, is that while we're all waiting, playing Baldur's Gate 3, it's absolutely the best game for August for 100% sure. I cannot wait to compare and contrast the two because it is absolutely absurd what the level of what they've done there. And even if Starfield doesn't live up to that tier, it doesn't have to, like in my personal opinion. I think if they really live up to a greater tier than what we've seen from Bethesda, then I think a lot of people are going to be excited and be happy for this game. So when it comes down to it, like the whole point of me sitting down and talking about this is that review bombing doesn't matter if the game is good, and anybody kind of, I guess signaling that that's what's going to happen when that does happen. And we've seen it happen. We saw it happen with Final Fantasy 16. They did the same various thing. Now, you might not necessarily like Final Fantasy 16 one way or the other, but Final Fantasy 16 being a PS5 exclusive also goes out to say this goes both ways. An eye for an eye leaves everybody blind. It's an expression that I hope that you've heard before. And so when it comes down to whether Xbot Tiers 360 is a true human being or a true PlayStation Sony fanboy, or they're just the best internet troll at getting this kind of attention, or at least they're just getting started because it looks like they only recently joined Twitter in 2022. So welcome to the chaos. Like, whether all that ends up being true or not, the only review that actually matters is your own personal review, whether you're liking the game or you're not. That's why these kind of things can't destroy my hopium. And I think hopium and copium are all a part of a greater module called hypium. And I'm gonna be hopeful. I'm gonna root for the best. I'm gonna root for these games to be good. I'm gonna root that you eventually don't have to watch my videos because you're too busy playing the game. That is what we should strive for. And that's one of the things I'm really excited to see about this game, is just when the dust is settled, when I'm hanging out with my family at the end of the day, like, are we exploring space together? Do I let my kids just go nuts? Obviously, from a story perspective, we'll find the times and places where they can explore. Or is this a game that, like, is almost kind of timeless? I feel like Bethesda does tend to deliver those games that can suck you in for hundreds and hundreds of hours, and at the same time not be a games as a service game. And that's just what I wanted to share with you guys today. So I don't know if you've seen the tweets. I wanted to kind of talk about it because I think essentially at the end of the day, if it does get review bombed, that's only going to generate more attention. That's going to generate more interest in the game itself, because what you're going to see contrasted with that is that if the game delivers and is playable on day one and not needing some kind of miracle patch, like, people are going to be having so much fun, all it's going to do is going to push up more attention to this idea and this concept. So I would bet, put money, whether they end up being, like, I've read a lot of the tweets from this individual, and they are very anti-Xbox tweets in this case. But if this person ends up being a real, human being, like, they're setting themselves up, for a lot of attention come when the review bombs, if they do come, because that people are going to look back to this moment and say, hey, they kind of lived up through it. But anyway, whether you like this or not, hopefully you enjoyed this video and my thoughts on it. I wish you guys all the absolute best, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. But until then, take care.